Good night, good night. Once there were 3 little dragons. They lived in the dark cave. The cave was in the dense forest. The first was in a faraway kingdom. The poor little dragons were very lonely in their deep dark cave. In the kingdom there was a good knight. Every night he kept watch. He watched from a crumbly, tumbly tower. It was on top of a very tall wall. One night the good knight was on his watch. He heard a very loud roar. So the good knight left the crumble tower. He climbed down the very tall wall. He jumped on his horse. Away, he said. He galloped through the king's forest. Clickety-clop, clickety-clop. He came to the deep, dark cave. Inside, he saw the first little dragon. What is this? He asked. Mad things. He came to the deep, dark cave. Inside, he saw the first little dragon. What is? He said. Nothing. It is a dragon. And he drew his shimmery, quivery sword. The dragon had on his diamonds. He was all ready for bed. Oh, good. You come, said the dragon. Could you bring me a drink of water, please? Then I can go to sleep. The good knight did not know what to think, but he was a good knight, so he got a drink of water. He gave it to the dragon. Then he tucked him into a bed. Good night, good dragon. Sleep well, sleep tight, said the good dragon. Good night. Then he galloped away. The good knight went back through the king's forest. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop. He got off his horse. Thud. He climbed up the very tall wall to the crumbly, tumbly tower. There he stood on watch. He stood on watch for 5 minutes. Then he heard another very loud roar. I don't believe this, he said. He left the crumbly, tumbly tower. He climbed down the very tall wall. He jumped on this horse. Away, he cried. He galloped through the king's forest. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop. He came to the deep, dark cave. The second dragon was in her pajamas. She was all ready for bed. Oh, good, you have come, said the second dragon. Could you read me a story, please? Then I can go sleep. And could I have another drink of water? Said the first dragon. The good knight did not know what to think, but he was a good knight, so he read the dragon a story. Then he tugged her into bed. He got the first dragon another drink of water. Then he tugged him into bed. Good night, good dragon, sleep well, sleep tight, said the good knight. Then he glided away. The good knight went back through the king's forest. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop. He got off his horse. Thud. He climbed up the very tall wall to the crumbly, tumbly tower. There he stood on watch. He stood on watch for 2 minutes. Then he heard another very large, very loud roar. This is too much. much, he said. He left the crumbly-tumbly tower. He climbed down the very tall wall. He jumped on his horse. Away, he cried. He galloped through the king's forest. Clip-de-clop, clip-de-clop. He came to the deep dark cave. The third dragon had won on this chance. He was all ready for bed. Oh, good, you have come, said the third dragon. Could you sing me a song, please? Then I can go to sleep. And could you read me another story? Said the second dragon. And could you get me another drink of water? Said the first dragon. The good knight did not know what to think. But he was a good knight, so he sang a dragon song. Then he tagged him into bed. He read the second dragon another story. Then he tagged her into bed. He got the first dragon another drink of water. Then he tugged him into bed. Good night, dragons. Good, well, sleep tight, said the good knight. Then he galloped away. The good knight went back to the king first. Clip-de-clop, clip-de-clop. He got off his horse. Thud. He climbed up the very tall wall to the crumbly-tumbly tower. There he stood on watch. He stood on watch for 1 minute. Then he heard the loudest roll of all. Not again, he said. He left the crumbly-tumbly tower. He climbed down the very tall wall. He jumped on his horse. Away, he cried. He galloped through the king's forest. Clip-de-clop, clip-de-clop. He came to the deep dark cave. Oh, goody. You have come, said all 3 dragons. Let me guess it, said the good knight. Another drink of water? No, said the first dragon. Another story? No, said the second dragon. Another song? No, said the third dragon. Then what do you want? cried the good knight. We need a good night to kiss, said the 3 little dragons, and they lifted their skills little chicks. This is going too far, said the good knights. But he was a good knight, so he bent and kissed each skilled little chicks. Good night, good dragons. Sleep tight, he said. The dragon said, good night, good night. The good knight left the cave. He waited aside. He heard the loud dragon snores. Then the dragon good knight went home. Through the king's forest, clip-de-clop, clip-de-clop. He got off his horse. Thud. Now, said the good knight, maybe I can get a good night's sleep. And that is just what he did. Sleep well, sleep nice, good night. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Bye-bye.